Start.
Yeah.
Here.
It is better one. Yeah. Binduji, thanks for the answer for the first question. First, just for the recap, we were discussing on epistemological limitations of Advaita Vedanta, that too in connection with reliance on a Shruti, or Veda or scriptures. Thanks for the answer. And when you said, as far as Shruti is concerned, Advaita is available to the Anubhava of each and every one, irrespective of the caste, creed, nation, whatever it may be. If Advaita is so simple, if Advaita is available to all Tom, Dick and Harry, why then the traditionalist, including Shankaracharya, should write thousands of pages of commentary, bring out Upanishadic commentary, Bhagavad Gita commentary, Brahma Sutra commentary? Why he should make it more complicated? It's simple, very simple, available. Neither you need not to have the knowledge of Gita, or Upanishads or Brahma Sutra, nor you need to have any cultural or traditional knowledge to do Advaita. If that is the case, then why Shankaracharya has to do all this circus? So I would like to know what would be the reason for Shankaracharya to do that.
Okay, as a teacher, when he started talking about Advaita to his students, he found that there are a lot of misconceptions and wrong knowledge, basically from Mimamsa, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, all intermingled and brought together into the Purva-Paksha questions. So for him, when he is explained, these knowledge systems were embedded in the people and they were not willing to let go that for the sake of Advaita. It is available. It's just like that. It is a Sarva Jana Anubhava. Every man has got the Anubhava. But my dependency on either Mimamsa, Sankhya or Nyaya didn't allow me to take Purusha and Prakriti separate and leave it there and accept Advaita. So for that purpose, he wrote this extensive commentary, not as a Purva-Paksha to that, but as a Siddhanta for his own philosophy. Only in the Brahma Sutra, he is doing the Khandana Mandana, which is required for that because he has to take each point of it.
Yes.
But if you look at in the Upanishad this thing, the Purva-Paksha is not really a Purva-Paksha from any other Siddhanta. It is a Purva-Paksha for clarity purpose.
Yes. From Advaita.
From Advaita point only. That is why these Upanishad Bhashyas are much more Advaitic oriented rather than the Brahma Sutra Bhashya.
But don't you think that, Binduji, see, here the solution has become the problem now. Shankara did with a purpose. He wanted to answer certain category of people in the language they understand.
Yes.
That's why he wrote a commentary. Now that itself has become an impediment now.
Yes.
For the people, those who want to understand Advaita, they think that until and unless I know Sanskrit, I am not able to get it. Until I completely by heart that 700 shloka of Bhagavad Gita, I will not get it. And at the same time, Brahma Sutra is being presented as the pinnacle of Vedanta. In fact, it is Vedanta itself. So until I go through the process of Nyaya Prasthana on the foundation of this Prasthana Traya, my knowledge of Advaita will not be complete. So the way you suggested as it is available in the Anubhava, people think that I know what is Advaita, but still I am missing. It has created that kind of dichotomy among the followers.
Okay.
What would be the suggestion?
See, the thing is that the system of philosophical debate in India, starting from the Vedic period onwards till, let's say the 15th or 16th century. That is the latest which we can compare. After that it has changed. This methodology of Purvapaksha and Siddhanta was the only method in which people had an opportunity to learn any Siddhanta. Sankhya is the oldest one.
Yeah.
The Sankhya was then challenged by other systems later. When Advaita came, Advaita had to do the same thing for the purpose of establishment by Shankaracharya and his followers. But Advaita also released everyone from the dependency on Shastra by saying that Yatra Veda Aveda Bhavati. Even in the Mundaka Upanishad, Bhashya, Shankaracharya says that even there the Vedas will not be valid in that stage, which shows that the author of this Bhashya has very clear clarity in the sense that even though I am writing these Bhashyas and everything, the Anubhava is not on the Bhashyas. You have to even remove the Bhashyas if you want to come to the reality of it. So for that purpose, what he did was, while following the system, because that was the system which was, if you are in Rome, you have to be a Roman. Like that, he continued the writing, but he also released us, those who really want to go beyond it. He never meant that, okay, what he did was, since he had apart from the Advaita thing, he also had to re-establish Hinduism, the Vedic culture, not Hinduism, the Vedic culture back in India. He had to bring in the rules of Vedic thing. Veda cannot be half right and half wrong. Because if Mimamsa is wrong, as per Advaita, then you are saying the Veda itself is wrong. So he said that is an earlier stage where you do the karma. Parikshe Lokan Karmajidan Brahmana, that statement is valid because Mimamsa is also valid. When you are Nirvedamaya, when you develop a dispassion towards your karma and the things, that is the time from Guru Meba we get it, so that is the reason when he said that all systems are valid in their own places, but one who is wanting to go beyond all systems, Advaita is the only path. That is why he has.
Yeah.
But what happened is that traditionalist people, the Sampradaya people, got stuck into a system of teaching and using the Nyaya Vaisheshika method, especially for Bhamaji and others who followed the system. They have concentrated on the Nyaya system to even advocate Advaita, but they were not giving any advice for the Anubhava part of it. So that is where people are still mistaking that Advaita is also something similar to Nyaya, Vaisheshika and etc. in the system.
Yeah.
That it's a mistake which is being,
It's like a failed technology.
Failed technology.
Yeah.
Okay, here I think the language of Shankaracharya may be reason for this, because Shankaracharya, while talking on Shastra Unitvat, he insists that the Brahman you should know through the source of Shastra only.
Yes.
So they need to glue to that. That is one thing. And from the other hand, as you suggested, in Upanishad as well as in Adhyasa Bhashya, Shankara makes it very clear. Whatever the Brahman he is talking about is beyond time and space.
Yes.
It is beyond the Pramana, Prameya and Pramatra. It is beyond the Triputi. So Shankara's two ways of setting the things, probably having no knowledge of Vastu Tantra and Kartru Tantra, might be the reason for the people to stuck in that mode. Probably that also may be the reason. Those who are well versed in Vastu Tantra, they need not to worry too much about the Kartu Tantra and
Yes.
Shastra, and they should not unnecessarily entangle into these things.
Right.
They can keep away themselves and they can do that job. That would be the probably the reason for that.
Yes.
Yes, but I will come to my question now. My entire intention of asking this question was the universality of the Advaita. Because today, if you take the factual information compared to Buddhist, I was thinking from that angle that Buddhism was able to spread across the globe just because of going away from such hindrances. But actually, what Shankara offered a solution has become the problem. Thereby, it could not reach to the many. So, I would like to ask you now, okay, would you really suggest from the day onwards, if because there is a dichotomy in your statement and action also, because you are also teaching the Advaita through the Upanishads, through you have a plan to teach through the Bhagavad Gita, you are also insisting on the Shastra at the same time. And at the same time, you are also telling that we need not to do that. Whoever is capable of handling or understanding this thing without these things, okay, if that is the case, why can't we push? Why can't we only push this part and free the people from the Shastra and all those things? Why can't we do that? Any solution to this problem?
Yes, Sarabhutam Tat Upasitavya.
Yes,
Right?
100%.
100%. No?
100%.
What is the crux of
Yes.
the teaching is what is required. Now, these teachings have no mandatory requirement that you have to use the Upanishad alone.
Yes, exactly.
Right? I am teaching this using the Upanishad, not mentioning anywhere that this is the only source of knowledge. The logic in the teaching is what is being taught. Not I am asking anybody to chant the mantras of the Upanishad or the methodology of learning Sanskrit and everything as prerequisite for knowing the truth. Explaining in English the same Upanishads in a language which is common to universality is the reason why that is being taught like that. Now, comparing to Buddhism, I told you the answer itself in earlier that Buddhism is not on teaching, it is on social fabric or service as a dharmanja, etc. So, there it is mass appeal is there because people look for service and social activities. That is why even in the missions which are there like Ramakrishna mission, Punya mission, etc., the social service is being promoted because that is the only way in which you can involve everyone. Out of that, some of them are interested towards Advaita, but majority of them, 90 or 95% of them are interested in the ritualistic activities and the social service activities of the religion. So Advaita, even though it is universally applicable, the universal acceptance can come only for a adhikari or a student who is willing to take that extra mile into the intellectual inquiry. Then only to them it will appeal. It is applicable to everyone. Doesn't like that now the money is applicable to everyone. Money is applicable to everyone. But why is it concentrating on some people? 20% or 10% of the world, rest of the world are still fighting for money. If money is universally acceptable and available, why is it not that everybody is not getting enough money? It is not the universality or anything of the problem of these systems. It is that some people have the capacity to understand the Advaita, some people do not have the capacity to understand the Advaita. And they say, if everything goes above my head, I don't understand it. They go away from that. They are happy with the social service, everything. Like how make money, multiply money is done by few people, but other people, they know only how to spend money. They do not know how to make the money to work for money.
Happy with the salary.
Happy with the salary and month to month they live. And there are many who cannot even say month to month. There are majority of people who are in the poverty. So these are the way in which we are, categorizing the capability of people, like how money has the capability of people. Same way, Advaita is also universally applicable. It is Sarvajana, everybody's experience. Who is interested in knowing the experience in detail? They are happy that moment, finish, enjoy, move on. If they are hungry, they want to look for food. They are not bothered about who made it, what made it, how is the recipe, what is the culinary, nothing. They are hunger, they finish it and they move on. But those are people who may not be even ready to even quench their hunger, but they want to know who am I. Only to such people it will be there. I mean, it will.
Yeah, those who have that earning.
Yes, earning.
Yes,
That is
yeah.
why I said Adhikari is important.
Okay. Binduji, there is one more small question connected to this one only. Probably Shankaracharya's idea may be somewhat different from the way you think or me think. The problem is that when we say the Shastras are not, scriptures are not like a physics or chemistry or any other subject matter, those who deals with the whatever available among the Panchabhutas and whatever is accessible to our own perception. Shastras are such things which talk about which is beyond access of the senses. So probably Shankaracharya relied on the Shabda Pramana because Shastra do talk about the Advaitic experience, the Upanishads and all. Now, if we take away that importance and just confine to Anubhava of the people, the common people, aren't we reducing the importance of the scriptures on the one hand? On the second hand, we may not be knowing why Shankaracharya did that, because Shankaracharya talks in both ways and gives importance to the Shastra and gives importance to the tradition. Then he asks us to do that also. On the other hand, in Adhyasa Vasha is very clear that he wants to maintain that distance also. Both versions are available. So, do you still advise for a balanced approach of both based on the Adhikari Veda or how?
Absolutely not required.
Absolutely not required.
Because Shastra is available, those who want to verify, cross-verify. And what is being spoken by non-Shastric or the non-traditional people who have the experiences, whether they are Buddhists or they are Christians or they are Japanese or Chinese or UK or USA, it doesn't matter. Truth is universal. That nobody can change. Whether Shankara decided it or not doesn't matter. During his period, he had a limitation, so he said that, depending upon the Shastra.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean he has limited the truth to his methodology alone.
Yeah, that is okay. That's okay. But I have one problem here. If anything is universal, there shouldn't have been any questions at all. If I say that this is mobile, I think 99.99% of the population will agree with me. Okay? But if Shankara is telling that this is the truth, 70% or 80% of people, those who do not agree. Here the point is, if it is so simple, if it is, available to each Tom, Dick and Harry in Anubhava, then there shouldn't have been any disagreement at all as far as the concept of Advaita is concerned. So what would be the reason with those?
I'll tell you, every human being has got Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti. Agree or not?
Yes.
Agree.
Yes.
It is universal.
Universal.
Yes.
Yes.
But how many of them will think that Sushupti is a state where I am available, but my experiences are not available, and that is not my true nature. With that as my reality, I should evaluate my waking and dream. How many of them will understand?
Very few.
Very few.
Highly exceptional number.
Right. Same way, this mobile as universality, everybody may accept it. But when it comes to experiences of the individual, even though it is common to all the universal experiences, the methodology in which you are able to know your nature in that experiences, not many people are. Everybody will think my sleep is from the waking point of view. I have dream, I have a deep sleep. These two are my resting places when I am sleeping on my bed. That they what they think. But only one person, Kaschid Dira, Pratyagatmanam Vichya, Avrita Chakshu Amrutatva Mishim, when that statement is being made, only few will think that who is that present which is in my dream, deep sleep and waking? Deep sleep. Not many universal experience, but universal acceptance will not be there.
Vichara capability.
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. But now when we speak about Anubhava, it is a purely a subjective verification. You cannot in any way,
Right.
okay, the third party can either certify you nor can negate your experience.
Right.
It is only you, okay, you can talk about that.
Right.
So in the absence of this verification, okay, what is the tool available to the other guy is that you are realized.
Okay, very simple, Advaita. The personal experience which I am talking about is not my personal experience. It is a universal experience which I am talking about. Which I said, Jagra Swapna Sushupti is common to everyone. I am only talking about Jagra Swapna Sushupti. Not that in meditation I saw this, or in my meditation had this experience, or when I did this thing I got enlightened. Nothing of that sort. I am saying your deep sleep, my deep sleep. Let us analyze from that point of view. When this is being told, I think anybody sitting here will be able to identify with that process from their own personal experience. I am not talking from what the Shastra said. I am not talking what Shankara Bhashya has said. I am not talking about something which I have experienced alone. I am talking about something which we are all experiencing. But we have not learned how to do the analysis. For that, the Shastra is helping us. But Shastra is not asking this is the only method. No, it is not necessary.
Okay, I got it, because everybody has Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, and you accept that there is Sarvatrika Anubhava.
Yes.
Everybody feel and understand in the same way. There is no difficulty in understanding that each and everybody is going through all the three states. But tell me one thing, Bindoji, if that is the case, why so much emphasis is on Sushupti? That can be done on Jagrat also, because Jagrat is also available to everybody experiences the same way. Swapna is also available. Why we should highly rely on the Sushupti and analyze these things?
Okay. It is just like that. When you want to take bath, you cannot take bath with all your dressing and makeup and all the. You are removing all the dirt from your body.
Yes.
For that, all the attachments which is there on our body has to be removed. Then only you can apply water and soap and make it feel fresh in the body to change a new dress.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yes.
Same way, we need to know where I am there, but I don't have any other experience. The only place where I can do that is my Sushupti. It is just like when you are coming to Jagrat, you are wearing your body, your mind and intellect, and you are identifying with Jagrat or a Bindu. But without I, Bindu, or Jataveda, where are we both in our Sushupti, is the only place where we can say that it is common to everyone. At the same time, there is no dress or modification or any attachment or any makeup onto that. Our pure, naked identity without any Nama, Rupa, Vishesha. Therefore, it is mandatory.
Yeah, experience of non-duality is possible with Sushupti, not so with Swapna and Jagrat. That's why we choose Sushupti. But the problem here is, in case of Jagrat, I know that I talk. Okay. In case of Swapna also, yes, I am there. But in case of Sushupti, I don't even know I exist or not. Only I have to talk about it when I wake up. When I am not at all there, when I talk about it at a later point of time, then how can I believe that that is my real nature or that is the truth of my own nature?
Jadavedi, if you are saying that you did not know you existed in your deep sleep, you have to make a statement that I didn't have deep sleep.
Why? I had a deep
Only
sleep.
a person who didn't have deep sleep can say, I did not exist at all. The person who had deep sleep always says that I had a good sleep, I knew nothing.
That
Yeah.
only when
But
is a wakeful.
my existence is never questioned in my deep sleep. At the deep sleep, as a deep sleeper, I don't have any transaction. I cannot even question my own nature or my own existence. But my own existence at that time, I am not negating.
But it can be looked into other way also, no? Because you are able to talk about the deep sleep only when you are at a wakeful state. You are telling about that I, our existence. I will call it as a shunya, nothing exists.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Then nothing would be my nature. No? That possibility is also there.
You can discuss about that in the waking, provided you can be without any identification.
Yeah.
But that is not possible.
It's a forceful kind of
It's a forceful
nature's plan to.
nature's way of doing things. So what happens is that we are not in a state to do that in the waking. So, but the problems are in the waking. So we need to put out the fire where the fire is there.
Yes.
The fire is in the waking. So we say that I need to know this answer from the waking point of view, because my samsara and my problem of my life is only in waking. I cannot be 24 hours deep sleep. So my problem of my waking and everything has to be solved from the point of view of where the problems are not there. If that is, but I existed, that means the problems are coming and going. Gadagatam. Right? That Gadagatam is not the reality, but the road is a reality where the Gadagatam is taking place. The substratum is a reality. The Jagrat and Swapna are coming and going. They never remain. But I remain in deep sleep, I remain in waking, I remain in deep sleep, or Sushupti or Jagrat, all the three. And I know all the three are happening to me. Therefore, I have to be separate from all the three. Because I am knowing the three happen. If I am not knowing the three happening, I will be restricted to any one of them only.
Yes.
Therefore, Tejyo Vilakshana Sakshi, Chinmatroham Sadashi. That is my name.
Yes. Unless you are in Turiya,
Yeah.
you will not be able to do that.
Right.
That is the right perspective to understand that. Thank you, Vijay. We can continue. The next question. I am getting a call.
Is the nature of awareness can be is called as capability, because awareness is the nature, Satchidananda. What can be called as capability?
See, the question of nature and capability. nature of awareness and capability, cannot be used in the same coin, in the same what you call terminologies.
Okay.
Capability is a transactional requirement
Okay.
from the transactional point of view.
Ah.
Whereas nature of awareness is in which the transactions are happening. The transactions are not a function of awareness, but the presence of awareness in which you acknowledge it.
Okay. This is clear.
Therefore, it is not the capability of awareness. Its capability is a transactional aspect of it.
So then the words we use such as Naishkarmya Siddhi, is a Siddhi capability or what is it?
Naishkarma Siddhi is Nishkarmada Bhava.
Ah.
It is that state when you know that I am not doer, I am not na karta, na bhokta. When that is my reality, I am a Naishkarma Siddhi.
So then the pinnacle of capability is a Siddhi leading to the source.
Pinnacle, there cannot be called a pinnacle. It's sarvasadharana, everywhere it is there. Then the moment you use a word like pinnacle, then you are trying to locate it or even measure it.
Correct.
That cannot be done in the case of awareness.
Okay, then there is a clear demarcation between nature and the capability.
Yes.
Clear. One big question, because that come up based on why that oil continued, you used the word,
Tailadharavata.
Tailadharavastha.
Yeah.
Why it is not holding, then there is a sidebar question. Is there any hunt for madhu going on, leading to this breakage of Tailadharavastha? Is the desire driving you out of? This is a vichara, basically we are asking the question. Is the madhu, hunt for madhu or bliss or that pleasure, is the root cause of these breakages, looking at the wrong place, wrong direction? What is this hunt? What is the reason for breakages?
Yeah. When you see a Tailadharavat, that example, you don't see the Taila where it is coming from, you don't see where it is going. Okay? Will you say that the oil is flowing, or it is, you will say whether it's a column of oil?
Column of oil.
You say column of oil. No? Same is the case our experience. Our experience is like the column. Now, the moment you bring the pouring kettle and the collecting bowl, then you have brought in duality. In that duality is where all the hunt takes place.
All the possibilities now start.
Yeah.
Then what is this hunt, first of all? What is this fundamental distraction, you call it?
Fundamental distraction is from the non-apprehension of reality. We think that we need to find the reality somewhere. It is not within me or my nature, but I need to find it out from my Kartru Siddhi. I have to do something to achieve it. That is prompted for the hunt, because I do not know my nature.
So this is getting there. Okay. First of all, what is madhu? What is bliss according to you?
Madhu or rasa in true nature is my nature of awareness itself. Everything is enjoyed in my awareness. The multiplicity, I am bringing the multiplicity and enjoying it as something separate from me. Everything is happening in awareness.
Okay.
But not realizing that the happiness which is enjoyed, madhu, therefore the word is used is honey for the happiness part of it. The usage is that the happiness is now attributed onto the object. Should Mysore Pak gives me, or laddu gives me, or a chocolate gives me happiness, or a hot coffee gives me happiness. This is what we put our happiness as measures. But what really happens is that when the mind is in need of something, the mind is agitated. The moment I get it, Priya, Moda, Pramoda, which I explained earlier, the moment I get it, I have the sip of the coffee and enjoy it. My mind, which is in the hunt for the coffee, becomes quiet for that period. And the happiness is within me, which I am enjoying, or which is becoming my experience, not because of the coffee. The coffee, when it is received, my mind stopped hunting for it. So, when the mind is quiet, the happiness becomes my nature because it is my own nature, which the mind is now not coming in between to block it.
Okay. So the nature just amplified in that period. That's
Nature
what
didn't amplify anything. Don't use the words which I have not told.
you're not going to use the
I
word.
never told that nature amplified it.
Then what happened to this mind again, going back to the
Because it
agitation?
goes for the next one.
Next hunt.
Yeah, after the coffee, now I need a cigarette or I need to go for a walk. I need to sleep.
So
Something then will
it is overpowering. Basically, it's overpowering.
This never-ending hunt by the mind
Ah.
is why we are always unhappy.
Okay, that answers that Tailadhara breakage. Okay. Now, next question. Okay.
Literary theories, modern literary theories, which I haven't read actually, but I have listened to in many of the conversations with my professors. There, most of the things are related to these type of questions. Number one, there is a literary critic by name Derrida. Okay, he says signifiers and the signified. The words are signifiers and the meanings are signified. And his proposition is that all readings are essentially misreadings.
Absolutely.
So this is what his theory. And immediately when I listened to it, I switched over to Advaita. So these people, in fact, all modern literary critics, they draw their inferences mostly from the Indian philosophy.
Yeah.
And that is one thing I wanted to share. Another one was Schopenhauer regarding reality and dream. He says, yesterday I dreamt myself as a butterfly. Who knows, today a butterfly may be dreaming as
That's me. That's me. So yeah, that's a standard
So
statement.
that is another thing. And about the teachings, guru or teachings, even this, the modern theory is the author is dead. Okay, look at the art, work of art.
No other, yes.
Okay, so the author is dead. You have to work with the work of art. So even there, they call it reconstruction theory. Author has constructed a plot, a story, lot of situation, and you are deconstructing that and reconstructing that in your own mind.
That's exactly what happened. Shakespeare wrote the Othello and everything so many years back.
Yeah.
In his
Yeah.
English at that time.
At that time.
Today, even today, the English literature or the MA literature people, they are analyzing that
Yeah.
construction of the sentences to the words, to the mind of Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, yes.
So many things are being
And the university libraries, 17th century criticism of Shakespeare, 18th century criticism of the century.
Century after century, even 21st century, you will find it. Criticism of Shakespeare.
It's going. So somewhere,
The author is dead.
author is dead.
The author is dead.
Yeah.
But his creation is still there.
Still there. So somewhere I feel very strongly that literature, and as Hiriyana would say, Professor Hiriyana, he was,
Yes.
he says that Rasananda, Brahmananda, Sahodara. So both of them are there in literature also.
Yes, everywhere
That
it is
is
there.
also there.
In music it is there, in
Yeah.
art it is there,
Art.
dance it is there,
Yeah.
in simple culinary
Yeah.
it is there.
Yeah.
If you think that a pinch of salt is extra, do you think you will enjoy the food? No. If it is less, you will look for, give me some more salt. Why? And Swami Chinmaya used to say, see, I call it as Jnana Chakshu. You didn't understand. He was saying the Bhagavad Gita lecture. The mother will be putting 1 spoon of salt, and then she will take a small bit and then add more. She could have taken that also in the first spoon itself. But why did she take a small bit and then add it? Because that is Jnana Chakshu. She knew that the first portion is not enough, so a small portion is also required. But when the food comes up, perfect requirement of salt. If she had not put that small piece of salt again, it would have been short.
Perhaps
If
that
you
is
had
the role
measured
of
slightly more, it would
that
have
is
been
the role of the guru, I believe.
Guru equal to mother.
Yeah.
So that is what the exact requirement for depending upon the student is what is. You only when you
पावन गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये पावन गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये पावन गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये पावन गुरु पवन पुराधीशमाश्रये जीवन धरन संकाशम जीवन धरन संकाशम कृतं योगेशम जीवन धरन संकाशम कृतं योगेशो जीवनधरं संकाशो कृतं योगेशो भावितनारद विनुतं त्रिभुवन विनुतौ त्रिभुवनावनावेशं जीवनधरन् सङ्काशौ कृष्णं योगेशो भावितनारद विनुतं त्रिभुवनावनावेशं पावन गुरु पवनपूर पूजित विधि पुरंदरम् कृष्ण पूजित विधि पुरंदरम् राजित मुरलीधरम् पूजित विधि पुरंदरम् राजित मुरलीधरम् पूजित विधि पुरंदरम् राजित मुरलीधरम् व्रजललनानन्दकरम् अजितम् उदारम् कृष्ण व्रजललनानन्दकरम् अजितमुदारम् कृष्ण व्रजललनानन्दकरम् अजितमुदारम् कृष्ण स्मरदपि शुभदाकारम् स्मरदपि शुभदाकारम् निरवधि करुणापूरम् स्मरदपि शुभदाकारम् निरवधि करुणापूरम् स्मरदपि शुभदाकारम् निरवधि करुणापूरम् राधावदन चकोरम् राधावदन चकोरम् ललिता सोदरम् परम् राधावदन चकोरम् ललिता सोदरम् परम् पावन गुरु पवन पूरधीकमात्रये गामदनि पावन गुरु गमदामगरि गमागरि धरि गारि धनि धनि धरि गारि गमदनि पावन गुरु दाद दाद निद मगरे गमदादन निद मगमद निद दानिद मगम धनि 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 सनि धरि धनि धरि धनि धनि रि 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 गरि रि गारि रि गम गरि धनि धनि गरि धनि 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 धम सानि धम धनि पावन गुरु गम 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 गरि गम धनि पावन गुरु रि धनि 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 धम गम धनि पावन गुरु गम धम गरि धनि गारि धनि 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 गा सरि सरि धनि 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 गारि धनि 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 सरि धनि 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 गरि धनि धनि गारि धनि gama gari dani gama dama gama gari dani dani gama di gama da gama dani 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 ni dani ni dani 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 ni dani gama dani 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 ni dani 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 ni dani 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 ni dani dani gari ni dani 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 gama dani 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 gama gama dani 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 ni dani 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 dama dani da gama dani dani da gama dani pavana guru Guru Pavana Puradhisham Ashraye Pavana Guru